makeup.
All right, am I on? Nice to meet you guys. Well, that's a weird intro because I've already met most of you.
Well, you're supposed to say, welcome to my channel, guys. If you haven't been here already, I make videos about stock market trading.
Actually, I might start with that. If you guys, if you like this video, any of the videos, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up, giving you guys a call to action. And engage, you guys. Don't be afraid. I posted that on one of my things. I don't know, I might post this before or after I post one of my other videos that I shot. I told you guys I'm trying to do things a little different, in the sense that, do they see it? Does it look good?
You need to clean the window off.
How about that?
No, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to keep the light on if it bothers you, but
oh no, that's fine.
You can see the dashboard fine. It just actually, yeah, it lights up more.
Oh, this guy, I passed him up and he was a little mad about it, but anyways, so sorry for that little delay. Wait, yeah, I go straight. I have another video going right up this road. I actually remember shooting it. Wow, right here. It's pretty funny. So, again, sorry for the delay, but like I said, don't be intimidated to ask questions. I said in one of my other videos, I know I've came off very aggressive with other stuff, kind of changing that. I don't care if you guys trade penny stocks, Forex, I do not support it. However, with what I'm going to talk about today, what I believe in, all that, it's kind of wrong for me to chastise you guys and, throw you in, I guess, hellfire type. You're bad if this, you're going to be broke, you're poor, it's not like that. I really do have a care for people. A lot of people say it's bullshit. I encourage you to actually, and I need to stop cussing too, but, encourage you to challenge me, challenge others, especially in this game. You guys have seen the stuff that I've posted, and somebody even asked me, who do you trust? Don't trust anybody. Simple as that. Really look by their actions and what they do. If somebody really is sincere about something versus if they're not. Someone asked me then, how do I know someone's good? What makes a good teacher? I'll tell you quite simply. Have you ever been into a classroom where you do not talk to the teacher? If so, this is what I'm saying, does a real teacher, I'll just ask you questions, honestly. Does a real teacher not talk to his students at all? Or only when they want to sell them something? So, like I said, here for you guys, all that. You can talk to me whenever. We really want to be able to get videos out. We're pumping out some of these videos and want to just make sure you're helping you guys. So whether you're trading penny stocks, Forex, if you're on a path with options, real estate investing, awesome. You're talking my language. So the main thing with that, just don't hesitate to ask. But that was probably like 2-3 minutes of just ranting. Totally not what I was going to talk about, but one thing led to the next. So what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk to you guys about my favorite book and why, the reason behind it. And the title of this is probably going to be like, why I believe in Jesus Christ. And that's something I really do believe in. And there's reasons why. And believe me, I'll tell you guys this now. I am not perfect. I am not an accurate representation of Jesus Christ or anything like that. I got a lot of work to do. So, you hear my language, you hear stuff like this. I hope I do not want to detract any of you from any type of faith or anything like that. But at the same time, too, I don't care if you don't believe in God. I don't care if you're atheist. I don't care if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim. It's all good to me. We can still be friends. And I honestly got a lot of students from all over. But point is, I'm going to talk to you guys about my favorite book, and that book is the Bible. And why I'm giving you guys this book, because I still have people asking me, you guys have read Richest Man in Babylon, you guys have read Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret in the World, hopefully you guys have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, but before that too, Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Those are all titles I recommend that you guys read, and that's about finance, money, and Richest Man in Babylon. Why I like that book is because, it's about money. It's about handling money, and it tells you about life and people and stuff like that. And you'll see in that, like I said, I don't know if I'll post it up before or after this video, but one of them, my video, I talk about how, understanding people and social aspects and really understanding human nature will really help you succeed when it comes to making money and becoming an entrepreneur in many, many respects. Hopefully you guys can see the logic in that. But what I'm going to talk about is the Bible of, I want to say, well, first I'm going to tell you guys why I believe in God, you know, and what happened to me, and you know, why I look at the Bible so powerful, and the books of the Bible specifically, I'll share it with you guys. It's Proverbs. That is, and I'll give you some of the context and background to it. But in the thing that got me, you know, why I believe in God, you know, it's kind of crazy, especially I'm a very logical person. I'm very into thinking, you know, facts. Like I, you know, invest on confirmation, not speculation. You know, it's a lot of people, you wouldn't expect that. And I know a lot of smart people, they don't believe in God. And it really, they've even done studies, and they've shown that people with higher IQs tend less to believe in God. You know, that's why I don't even think my IQ's high. I've told you guys before, I'm not the brightest in the world. I view myself as really pretty average in terms of intellect. You know, and that should encourage all of you guys. You know, a lot of you are even smarter than me. But that being said, you know, so for some of you might be saying, like, so why do you believe in God? You know, it's just like, I'm so factual. I'm so all about, you know, the numbers, what's going on. You know, I won't even invest in companies if the facts don't line up. And so, you know, so how do you believe that we were created by a God, an invisible friend, whatever you want to call it? You know, looking at it in that sense. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but what I will say is I kind of value myself more important, or I see myself as more important than two rocks slammed together and we're here. You know, call me, maybe I'm just hopeful. You know, maybe I like the idea that we do have a father, you know, a creator of the world who actually cares about us, values us, you know, knows everything about us. But that's just me. So that's just some of the pre-context. But you know, my dad was a pastor, and I'll tell you, you know, growing up, in my view, again, I believe in Jesus Christ, I believe in the Bible, but one thing I say a lot is my view. You know, people ask me, are you Christian? I'll say no, because I believe in Jesus Christ, but I hate your Christians. That's the words of Gandhi. You know, Gandhi never became a Christian because of Christians, because I don't like how social constructs have, and you know, how people behave. And you know, growing up in a church, I've gotten to see people, and you know, I've gotten to read the Bible, and it's just funny because at times I'd be like, dang, you know, like, are these guys reading the same book that I read? You know, it tells you not to judge people, tells you to be really the outlines. Like, you look at the 10 Commandments, how to behave, and not everybody behaves like that. But then, you know, I also got to understand not everybody's perfect, you know, myself included. But I grew up in the church maybe till I was like very religious, until maybe about, I'd say I was like 13, 14, really, around the time I started trading stocks. And I fell from it. You know, I went to high school. You know, I wanted to be cool, social pressures. You know, I started smoking weed at a very young age, and now, you know, that's what the cool kids were doing. And you know, I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to go out. I wanted to do things. You know, I would listen to like Christian music and Christian rap, because I've always loved rap. You know, even from the time I was in the 3rd grade. You know, I was listening to, like, you know, I remember one song, P. Diddy, Bad Boys for life, we ain't going. Yeah, but that's one that I really liked. And so I was into that, and then, you know, as I started, you know, to keep in line with my face, I listened to Christian rap. But, you know, I got into high school, and as I was getting older, you know, just that wasn't cool, or, you know, I was very self-conscious. You know, I really strove to fit in, and that was what kind of pushed me away. And then, you know, from high school all the way, even up till college, you know, especially I went to college, went to the University of Arizona, you know, man, come on, you know, the last thing I was trying to do is ruin my college experience. You know, I was like, come on, you know, what, you're going to tell me not to, I'm going to be condemned, you know, because, again, my parents in the church, that, you know, it was hellfire preaching, in the sense of, if you do this, you're going to hell. You do this, you know, you're a bad person. It was very, you know, fear-based. And, what I've gotten to read the Bible myself and have my relationship with God, I don't think that's really how it is. Yes, there's consequences to bad actions, but, God is God. God, He's a loving God. But it was stuff like that. I'll even tell you, my parents, back when we were younger, even up till high school and everything, if you got sick, if I was sick, my parents the first thing they would ask me was be like, what did you do? Did you sin? You need to repent. That's the first thing they would say. So,
that scares me.
I know, I'm scared. I got in a car accident a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I saw I got the Benz repaired. So every time I go over a bump, it's scraping the tire, so I don't want that to pop. But anyway, so, being in college, being in the U of A, huge party school, want to have my experience. Last thing I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, I'm not going to be condemned for this. I was like, I'm going to enjoy my life. Don't tell me I can't have sex, I can't drink, I'm going to do this, I'm a bad person, And at the end of the day, I realized, I was like, I don't do anything bad. Like, really, I don't hurt anybody, I don't kill anybody. And then that's true, and that's what even eventually kind of helped me get to the point of establishing that relationship I had. But that's a little background on me. But now I'll tell you, what happened as I progressed through college. I did start making money, a lot more money. I kind of always made money my whole life, even since a kid. But I started really making, 6 figures and plus, approaching, by the time I was by my first year, I made $1 million. So I had a lot of money, and I was just going crazy, trying to do new stuff, partying, clubs, buying stuff, buying cars, Louis Vuitton clothes, whatever I could get my hands on. And because again, I was, like I said, I always wanted to fit in back then. I guess, trying to fill a void. And I started to just get unhappy about things and just realized, I was like, I remember I had a talk with my dad once. I visited back from college, I was with him, and I just asked him, I was like, dude, what's the point of life? Like literally, what's the point? We eat, sleep, poop, wake up, do it all over again, and then people work, and we do this. It's like, what's the point? It's on repeat, and we're just operating. It's like we're animals. And he just laughed at me, and he said, yeah, you know what? You're right. And that's not the answer I was expecting. But it was so weird because it blew my mind when he just said I was right. And I was like, what? And he just told me, he's like, yeah, because if that's the way you view it, you're right. Without putting into effect, that God has a purpose for you, you're totally right. We're just animals. There is no point to life without a God, without believing in God and understanding. And, that's where I'm going to get in the Bible because, people have gods. There's many different gods, but I really believe in the Bible and I like what it says. And, and that leads to the thing. It's like, why do I see the Bible as being true? What makes it where I choose the Bible over every religious text? And that's something I did. I've studied multiple religious texts just to kind of figure it out. And that's kind of what I realized is that a lot of them preach the same concepts, but a lot wouldn't be, I learned this in philosophy. There's a way to see if something's morally correct or right, saying, if you could apply that morality or that law or that way to live to every human being, would it be a fair outcome? Would everybody like it? You'd read certain religious texts, and I'm not intending to bash you. I'm just giving a quick example. It's like Islam. If you like the way it says, women have to be subservient to the husband, and it does say something like that in the Bible, but not to the point where it says, women are subservient. A man can marry 4 different girls, do stuff like that, and literally they're very confined. That just wasn't really fair if you applied it everywhere, because if I was a woman, I wouldn't like that. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like if my girlfriend, my wife goes and marries 4 other dudes, I was like, that's not too fair. I know I wouldn't be down with that. But that's where I started seeing, I looked at the Bible and I really read it and just took it for what it was. And, you look at like the 10 Commandments, if people didn't lie, cheat, steal, kill, covet one another, just among those things, imagine, that just got me to think, it's just like, so if you applied that to everybody in the world and everybody actually read this Bible, would that produce a bad outcome? Would that be a world that I wanted to live in? I said, yeah. And the next thing it brought, this was the big point, and this really encompasses a lot of everything I do to this day, even my business philosophy when I engage in business, and this is what's propelled me so far, is, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Do unto others. Because now my next thing was like, all right, listen, man, God, I get it, the Ten Commandments, cool, but it's hard, it's hard to actually do them all. How you expect me to live like this? I'm not perfect, and if I'm not perfect, I'm going to live my life this way, and then I'm going to die and go to hell? Because that's the way I viewed it. That's the way a lot of people perpetuate, God. And that's where I learned another thing. This is one thing my mom actually told me, because my mom even grew as a person from a hell bent, you're going to hell, to, she's also grown in that too. And what she's told me, and it's so prophetic, the Ten Commandments aren't there to say you're going to hell if you don't do this, but it goes to show you as human beings, we are all flawed. The Ten Commandments are meant to be broken. And I don't say go out and do it. Be like, yeah, it's meant to be broken. Woo, we're going to go party. No. It's the whole thing is to show you that we as humans are flawed, and without God, without getting source of power from elsewhere and believing like that, you're not going to, you are going to make mistakes. That's why you need God there to, you're forgiven no matter what. That's what you guys got to realize. That's what I realized for me, because I was like, I knew about this stuff. I turned away. I did some bad things. It's not, again, I didn't kill people. I didn't steal things. I didn't do anything wrong. But in that sense, but comparable to the Bible, I was out there, I was having sex, I was out there drinking, smoking weed, cursing, I still do that even to this day, the cursing, but it's crazy how that, when I realized, like, yeah, it's meant to be broken in the sense it's all going to happen, but God forgives you. You are forgiven no matter what. God is not going to hold that back from what He has for you, promised for you, and what He wants you to do. Woo! So that's where, that was kind of a relief for me. And, back to the love your neighbor like you love yourself. That was the thing that got me, because I said, okay, God, this stuff's so hard. This stuff's so challenging. How do I go to heaven? Okay? I've been scared my whole life. I do something wrong, I'm going to hell. How do I go to heaven? Give me the answer. And I searched and searched, and I came across it, and it says it specifically in the Bible. And this is the Word of God. This is what God is saying. It says, if you want to enter the kingdom of God, heaven, you have to simply do two things. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, and put no other God before me. And it said, because if you love your neighbor like you love yourself, that encompasses all the 10 commandments. If you love your neighbor like you love yourself, you wouldn't lie to yourself. You're not going to lie to your neighbor. You're not going to steal from him. You're not going to cheat. You're not going to covet his wife, be jealous or anything like that. So it made sense. And that's where, applying it back to the logic I had of, hey, if everybody applied this, if we lived in a world where everybody cooperated with each other and treated each other as themselves, that would be a great world, and it would bring a lot. So, maybe, call me, maybe I have dreams of utopia, whatever. But that's the thing that got me. That really, really got me. And I was like, okay, so now, that didn't really put me back on the path and reading the Bible and taking it seriously like I do today, and even learning from it what I've learned about economics and money from the Bible. Yes, I know, it's crazy. The final thing, that just helped me, because now that opened the door for me to realize, hey, maybe it's not far out of reach. I didn't, I've done bad things, but the door's still open. That does not exclude me from, the promises God has. And that's one thing I like too. And I'd like it for you guys, because I've been crazy my whole life to believe that I could do a lot of things and that I could do anything I wanted, and accomplish stuff. And I have crazy goals and dreams and ambition. And I'll say crazy because it's not crazy, but it's crazy to the average person. It's crazy to most people. But that's what God promises. You know, God really, you know, if your dad, imagine what your dad, you guys, you know, or even, you know, someone you see as a father figure, someone who really cares about you, if they'll do whatever it is for you. You know, imagine if your dad owned the whole world. He'll give you whatever you want. That's the way I always viewed it, and that's what really got me. Yeah, that wasn't the final kicker, because I'll share, you know, I know this is long and drawn out, but hopefully you guys, I'm just sharing with you a little bit about me, and you're seeing the way I approach it. And again, I'm not trying to make you guys try to believe anything, because that's what pushed me away. So believe me, I don't care, you know, if you disagree with me, tell me, that's cool. Like I still vibe with you, don't worry. But my dreams came from, and what I believe today, I can do anything, because it says that in the Bible. God's word literally promises you whatever you want, you know, as long as it's in accordance with, you know, loving neighbors like you love yourself, and in accordance with his will. But, you know, it says ask and you shall receive. It's as simple as that. And, you know, that God wants the best for you. You know, we don't have a God who doesn't want the best for us. I think LA, you guys will see LA coming up around here. It's probably after this turn. It's a nice view, I like it. But so that's where I was, and the thing that really got me now, and now I was like, okay, I can do it. You know, it's not too far out of reach, I'm not too far gone. Maybe it's not too bad. And, you know, I was like, you know, I don't really do anything wrong. I was like, hey, I'm not killing people, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, but I know some of my life choices and behaviors and stuff, it made me feel guilty. So the thing that really got me, though, I was reading now, and this relates now to the book of Proverbs. This is my favorite book, and I recommend all of you read it, because Proverbs was written by King Saul. And King Saul, I need to double check, I'm blanking on it now, but I think he was one of, you know, when you see the richest man in Babylon, I think he was that was him, because he was historically the richest person in the world. You know, even to this day, he probably amassed more wealth than any one man in the world ever has. And, you know, and I started to look in that too, because I wanted money. I don't love money, but I had dreams. I said, you know, I wanted nice things. I wanted to be successful. So that could also contradict with God sometimes, but that's why I realized the love of money is bad. But to want money, desire to want to be successful, no way. So that's why I started to realize it wasn't. And then, you know, you see some of the richest man, whoever's amassed more wealth, you know, amassed the biggest city and treasures in the world, he believes in God, and God put him there. God gave him that. And that was King Saul. So he was a very wise man. He's the guy who wrote Proverbs. So this is what I'm telling you. I don't care if you're religious or not. I don't care if you just disagreed with every single thing I just said. You should read it, simply because if you're looking to get into money, finance, understand economics, wouldn't you think it would be wise to listen to the richest man who's ever walked the earth? We'll listen to Warren Buffett. We'll listen and study those people. That's how I've gotten here. I'm gonna listen to this guy too, you know. So that's why I read it, and that's what Proverbs does. But now there was a book in the Bible called Kings, and it was talking about, you know, King Solomon, and it was all the different kings, and it told the story of a little bit of how King Saul rose to power. And one day God came to him, and this is where I started to believe, like, yo, the Bible, like, this is the truth. King Saul, God came to him and said, listen, King Saul, I'm going to give you whatever you want. Anything you ask me for, you tell me, I will give it to you. So literally, imagine God said, anything you ask for right now, what would you ask for? I want you to think about what you would ask for. Okay? Anything. Like, literally. Imagine someone came to you with anything and said, I can give you anything, whether it be money, power, anything. So think about your answer, because this is what got me. He asked for something a lot of people wouldn't expect. The left 101, yeah. He said, Lord, give me... Is it still recording? Yeah, I know it's a long way, so... Lord, give me the knowledge and wisdom to lead my people. That's what he asked God for. And now, a lot of you probably didn't even ask for that. A lot of people won't. I know I wouldn't. Back then, when I was thinking that, I was like, man, if God came to me with that, give me all the money, God. That's all I want, And that's what really got me, because this is how the story proceeds. Saul, he said, God said, I'm going to give you knowledge and wisdom. I'm going to give you all the knowledge and wisdom to be the best leader and to lead your people to abundant prosperity and to achieve things that no man has ever achieved before. I will give you that knowledge and wisdom. But he also says, since you didn't ask me for money, you didn't ask me for wealth, you didn't ask me to be the most powerful person in the world, and you didn't ask me for the death of your enemies, and you didn't ask me to be the most well-known and recognized person in the world. You didn't ask me for those things. I'm going to give you all of those things and the wisdom. And now that's what got me. Not because God gave him all those things and I wanted all those things. Like, whoa, yeah, God's tight. Like, look, But it was the fact of what now that told me about humans and then the Bible. This book was in the Old Testament. This was written over 2,000 years ago. And literally, human desires have not changed since. Men, till this day, man still wants money, power, fame, and the death of their enemies. No enemies, no opposition. That got me. That was the dagger. Because then I realized, I said, whoa, if people were behaving the same then, without the same technology, social media, everything we have today, in 2,000 years, nothing has changed. So I'm sure the same principles in the rest of the Bible applied. And, that's what kind of started my obsession with King Saul. And again, my money mindset mixed with that, I said, I want to study from the richest man who's ever lived. And now that's where I get to what I recommend for you guys to read Proverbs, because it's by him and you will get to learn and see, and because Proverbs is literally what Proverbs mean. They're supposed to be, I guess, like proverbials. I'm blanking on the Greek words, but it's supposed to be principles, and they're supposed to be little short sayings on how to govern your life. That's where the Greek word pro is like, it's like govern, to rule. So these are the sayings of how you should, give you principle in life, because a lot of people don't have principles. That's why I ask you, if you're living life without principles, good luck. Seriously, because that, your principles are changing on a situation basis. You need principles to live by, and that's what it does. And it gives you principles, literally. And I have a video series on it that I'll share with you guys that I made. I'm still finishing it up, but going over it talks about everything from Proverbs, these laws on how to govern, and sayings on how to govern your life, ranging from everything from friends, family. It's still recording? Hasn't cut off yet? Sorry, I feel like it's getting real long, but sayings of, friends, family, money, and behaviors. It gives you all those, and it outlines everything about human beings and how to go about living your life, and even handling money. It tells you a lot on how to handle money. One of the things I like, it's a proverb there. It says, don't insure security for your friend. Don't offer to pay for somebody who's in debt, even if they're your friend. Because it says, even the bed from under you will be snatched beneath you if they cannot pay it back. And that's actually very wise. It's even the richest man in Babylon. Be careful, because how many people, myself included, have gotten into instances where you've lent somebody money, you've co-signed for somebody, you've done something like that, and it's only ended up to hurt you. We have good intentions, but it's saying, be careful, and it's how to be wise, and that's what it is. The Proverbs are there to teach you how to be wise and give you knowledge, and that's the same thing Saul asked for, and that's the same thing that led to what he accomplished. So I'll leave it up there. I'll encourage you guys to read it. Tell me if you guys like it. If you guys want me to cover it, I'll cover it. I'll go over Proverbs with you. I would love to share it with you. I've just been a little intimidated myself to share this type of stuff with you, because you guys know a lot of people, they even click through this video already. You already heard the first 2-3 minutes and you said, oh, hate this guy, unsubscribed, this guy's weird, he's nutty, but I don't care. And it sucks because I've never really cared, but for me to actually, you know, be more intimidated to share this, and also a big thing of mine, I never wanted to blend the lines of finance and religion, because I don't like to tell people my beliefs a lot of the time, because I don't want them to believe in me or blindly trust me because I believe in God. Because I know my mom was like that a lot of her life. You know, anybody says they're Christian, oh, she trusts them, and then they'll be the worst people in the fucking... Oh, see? Trying to work on that, but they're awful people.
Movie has been stopped automatically, sorry.
Oh, press it again.
I did.
Oh, there you go. So, it cut out, but that's where, like you're saying, you know, she would trust some of those people, and to me, I just never wanted to make it where people, you know, they saw what I viewed and then were blindly trusting me or listening to me, because I don't want that. I want you guys to still be able to think for yourself and be discerned and understand. I'm not an accurate reflection of that. We all have our flaws, but ultimately too, just I always hated that. So that's why I'm sharing that. But again, if you guys want me to talk about this, if this has your interest, you know, like, I don't know, I don't want to sound like a weird preacher or something, but like, I really believe it's true, to the point where, like, you know, if you listen to this, if you actually, like, you normally wouldn't listen to this, and you listen to it and you kind of feel like weird, or it's just something, you know, it has you thinking, that's good. And I'd encourage you, you know, tell me to go over it. I would love to share it with you, and, you know, I still have a lot to learn about it too. Again, believe me, I'm not virtuous in this stuff by any means, and I have a lot of work, and, you know, there's a lot of people I look up to with this, so understand that. But I'll be glad to share with you guys my interpretation, as I do share my interpretation with everything else for you guys. So if it's something, and I encourage you to read it, you guys want, it's very easy to get, man. If you guys don't have a Bible, to get it, the book, just go download it. Go, it's I forgot who makes it, YouVersion. Go, it's the YouVersion.
17 to the right, and then
Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's the YouVersion Bible app. The YouVersion Bible app, you could download it on the App Store, get it on your phone. You'll have the Bible on your phone, and get the book of Proverbs. And what it is, I'll tell you this, because this is another issue. People have issues with understanding it. You know, the Bible, and oh, thy shall, and he, she, and the kings of thou, and it's old ancient English, you know, King James version. There's many versions now that make it just so digestible. I recommend the NLT, the New Living Translation, and you can literally just go in the app, open up the Bible. You know, there's a verse a day, but like, you just click here, and boom. NLT, that's what I like to read the most. It just makes things a lot more understandable. So that's what I would do if I were you guys. So do that. You guys want to hear more? If you like it, awesome. You guys stuck around. You guys with me? Holla at your boy. I love it. Stay in school. Love you all.